Next on American Movie Classics, Tom Conway cashes in on a fortune of clues when a gang of thieves pulls off a war bond burglary in The Falcon Strikes Back. It's next on American Movie Classics.
Godfrey's going to be our butler. He's going to be whose butler?
Forgotten Man Godfrey just got a brand new start with Mrs. Bullock.
Well, I'm positive I didn't ride a horse into the library because it didn't have a riding costume on.
Mr. Bullock.
I'll be in my room. You can repeat this order in 30 minutes.
And their daughter.
Oh, Mother Godfrey loves me. Put me in the shower.
Carol Lombard and William Powell star in the screwball comedy.
This is the craziest family.
My Man Godfrey. Sunday on AMC. She's got stars in her eyes.
Oh, if you only knew what this means to me. I've always wanted to be an actress.
And romance in her heart.
Do you want to kiss me?
Do I?
Oh, Bud, that was just a line from the part.
Linda Darnell and John Payne are Hollywood hopefuls who discover their greatest success is in each other.
When you become a hit, you won't forget you knew me, will you?
Stardust. Sunday on AMC.
Okay, men, you know the rules. I want a nice, clean fight. No heel, no rabbit punching, no gouging. Break when I tell you to break. Go to the neutral corner and all knockdowns and keep them by the bell. Any questions? All right, the customers came to see a good fight. Shake hands now. Come out, fight. May the best man win.
Don't bend, Pop. You'll never get up.
Long before Sylvester Stallone laced up his boxing gloves, Robert Ryan went the distance in the 1949 classic, The Setup, directed by Robert Wise. It's a hard-boiled drama that packs a potent punch, and it demonstrates why, some 2 decades after his death, Robert Ryan is still considered one of the acting heavyweights.
Look, Joey, I can take this kid like I told you. I can feel it. If I can belt him solid just once.
And what'll he be doing in the meantime?
Oh, you don't understand.
I understand that he's 23 and you're 35, Bill. 35 in this business, you're an old man.
Ryan plays Stoker Thompson, a battered boxer who's almost down for the count. He can still take a licking and keep on ticking, but his glory days are long, long behind him. His wife, played by Audrey Totter, wants him to quit while he's behind. And even his manager, played by Alan Baxter, doesn't think there's much fire left in Stoker. That's why he's promised a local racketeer that Stoker will lose while fighting a crooked young newcomer.
Now you got this set up. Nelson to carry your guy 2 heats. Any time after that, Stoker can go down for the count.
The manager is so certain Stoker will crumble, he decides not to share the bribe money.
What about Stoker?
What about him?
Oh, he's all set, ain't he? You told him, didn't you?
Why cut him in?
I don't like it, Tiny. Stoker can still punch. If anything goes wrong, little boy's gonna blow his top.
Don't be a meathead. Nelson will butcher him. It's 100 to 1.
That's just it. There's always the one.
Trouble is, Stoker doesn't know it's a setup. He thinks it's a fight. And he's proud enough and determined enough to fight to win, because he still thinks he's just 1 punch away from being a contender.
You want to know something? I'm going to take that kid tonight. I can feel it.
Oh, take it easy, Stoke. Nelson's strong. Don't slug with him. Try to stay the distance.
Stay the distance? I tell you, I'm going to take him.
Sure, Stoke. Sure you will.
Dreams die hard for Stoker and all the other fighters in the setup, because, except for their dreams, they have nothing left to lose.
21 times Manila got beat.
Yeah, and that's 21 times you told us about it.
So what? So what? So he wound up middleweight champion of the world, didn't he?
Sure did, Gunboat.
Ladies and gentlemen!
The setup gains a lot of its power the old-fashioned way, with a tightly packed unity of time and place that would have impressed Aristotle himself. The movie is 72 minutes long and covers exactly that stretch of time before, during, and after Stoker's last stand. Robert Wise started out as a film editor. He cut Citizen Kane for Orson Welles, and that background comes in very handy here as he pushes his story along with the relentlessness of a classical tragedy.
He called me a fink. What's he talking about?
Tell him, Tiny, tell him. You gotta lay down, Stoker.
Lay down.
Look, it's supposed to be in a bag. There's 20 bucks extra in it for you, maybe 30.
But I can stop him.
No, you can't, Stoker, you can't. Look, this is little boy's fix.
The fight scenes here are among the most brutal ever recorded in a movie. But don't worry too much for Robert Ryan. He was a boxer during his days at Dartmouth College. He knows how to take a punch and how to dominate a movie. and he does both in the setup.
Perfect. 8. Perfect. 9. 10.
Fire knockout!
Oddly enough, the setup was based not on a short story or a novel, but on a narrative poem by Joseph Moncure March. The moody black and white cinematography is by Milton Krasner, who went on 1 year later to get an Oscar nomination for shooting All About Eve. As for Robert Ryan, he remained acting until early 1970s, doing everything from film noir to Eugene O'Neill. He was an American classic, just like the setup. I'm Joe Leydon for American Movie Classics.
It was an ordinary night in an ordinary town.
One-hand man, bacon hand.
Coming out.
Then they arrived.
2 professional killers show up in a small town and put the blast on a filling station attendant. And nobody. There was no attempted robbery. They were out for only one thing, to kill him. What?
Burt Lancaster, Ava Gardner, and Edmund O'Brien.
Your would-be fall guy's dead.
A film noir classic, Ernest Hemingway's The Killers. Friday on AMC.
Give me land, lots of land.
Presenting an American legend, an all-American hero, Roy Rogers, the man who did more for the American Western than any other Palomino-riding, gun-slinging, romance-singing cowboy.
He was a rootin', tootin', 6-gun shootin', ring-tail buckaroo.
Now, American Movie Classics and Republic Pictures are proud to present a special collector's edition of Roy's finest full-length motion pictures, uncut and never before released on home video.
Thank you, dear Mr. Rogers. You saved my life.
This very special Roy Rogers collection includes the classics Don't Fence Me In, Lights of Old Santa Fe, San Fernando Valley, and Roy's own personal favorite,
You're kind of quick on the trigger, son.
My Pal Trigger.
What are you going to name him, Roy? I just did.
Featuring his co-star and wife, the beautiful Dale Evans, that sassy sidekick Gabby Hayes, and Roy's faithful musical companions, the Sons of the Pioneers. Order this special collection for only $59.95 by calling 1-800-530-8610 and receive these beautiful reproductions of the original lobby cards. And if you call now, you'll also receive AMC's exclusive 1-hour original special, Roy Rogers, King of the Cowboys, a fascinating documentary that provides an intimate look at the life and work of this legendary star.
Seems like only yesterday.
I know.
And Roy Rogers of that year is the same one sitting here. I still feel the same way.
The Roy Rogers Collection, complete with this handsomely packaged display case to hold all 5 cassettes, is available by special offer exclusively to AMC viewers and their families. The Roy Rogers Collection, only $59.95. Call now and use your Visa or MasterCard.
Next on AMC, Bill Boyd is a lumberjack whose romance with showgirl Ginger Rogers threatens to upset the family logging business in the action-filled drama Carnival Boat. Next on AMC.
He was a man of homespun humor.
But there's one thing I've learned here in politics. That is, ignorance is no obstacle to advancement.
And fierce pride.
Why do you take every opportunity you can to make a public fool out of me and yourself? I shall devote myself for the rest of my days to trying to do what is right. A house divided against itself cannot stand.
Raymond Massey stars with Ruth Gordon in Abe Lincoln in Illinois. Monday.
He sought to lead in peace.
They may call me a coward or anything else they wish. I won't be rushed into this war.
But destiny decreed it was not meant to be.
You're fighting this war so there won't have to be any more wars.
And when the fighting stopped, his fiercest battle began.
If you're not prepared to abide by the solemnly accepted terms of the armistice, I might as well go home.
A man caught in the grip of history, Wilson, nominated for 6 Academy Awards. Monday on AMC.
Their numbers were staggering. On this voyage, the Queen Mary delivers 14,500 GIs to New York Harbor.
There's a golf course. People playing golf. Just as if nothing had ever happened.
But in the Sam Goldwyn classic, The Best Years of Our Lives, attention is paid to just 3 returning veterans. Their stories would make The Best Years of Our Lives the highest-grossing film since Gone with the Wind.
Boy, I sure would like to have $1 for every forward pass I threw down there.
Millions of guys came back to that same kind of situation. The country had changed. Their own feelings about themselves had changed a great deal. And I believe as the millions of people who saw Best Years in 1947 or 48 saw that picture, somehow imagined they themselves were related to one or more of the incidents that the picture portrayed of one of those 3 guys.
Here's to you, Butch. How am I doing?
Kid, you're doing great. When director William Wyler first spotted Harold Russell in an Army training film, he knew he'd found Homer Parrish. He had also found a kindred spirit. You see, Army Major William Wyler not only saw action, he returned nearly deaf in both ears, doubting if he'd ever direct again.
Best Years of Our Lives was William Wyler's picture, and he had a keen feeling about it. He knew, you know, because he'd been through it. It wasn't some story somebody wrote. It was his story about coming back with a severe hearing disability, placed in an important job of directing a major motion picture, and doing it well.
Who's at the door, Peggy?